Hello YouTubers and silver collectors. This is my first video, so the topic is going to be how to identify thrift store items for silver content. Today was my first foray using some of the techniques I have learned to identify silver, and I'm going to show you the results of what I picked up today. The first item is this rather large, like a shell-shaped basin, followed by a looks like a gravy ladle, a little candy dish in the shape of four-leaf clover, what I would think is a soap dish perhaps, and a tray. When I came to the store, I brought a magnet, a little bit bigger than this one, but I left it in the car. So these are refrigerator magnets, work the way that they typically do, very weak. I would probably suggest you bring something heavier, stronger magnet for your testing. But using these magnets, there were several items that I found were attracted to the item, and I put them back on the shelf. These items, however, tested negative to the magnet test. None of them had any type of attraction at all. I have not tried the pair of magnetic tests. I understand that silver has a very slight attraction to a magnet, so I'll probably be doing that in a later video. The next item that I looked at was to see if there were any obvious signs or stamps on the bottom or any portion of any of these items. And unfortunately, they were either not there or there was a label over them. I've removed all the labels using this product right here. Works really well. Spray it on, leave it on about 5 minutes, and then you just rub it off with a shop towel or something like that. And there was no printed label on the shell, although there was some type of a paper label saying Sheridan. I'm not sure. Some other people might know what this is. Limited. Looks like a lion, but I couldn't see any numbers. Moved on to the ladle. No markings anywhere at all. Goodwill had very frequently placed a pretty strongly kind of glued on adhesive label right in the middle on the back of each of these items, making it impossible to visualize the entire item. But even after I came home and took those labels off, I still wasn't able to find any type of marking at all, except on this item right here, which, if you get it in just the right light, I'll hold it up, you can see it says Made in USA. It says something like something filled, and then there's a number. It's either 340 or 840. I don't know if you can see that, kind of right in the middle, just below the numbers there in the permanent marker. Yeah, that's it. Right under that reflection, there's 40, and that's looks like a 3. So I guess that means 34% silver, but I'm not sure since I'm kind of new to that. The next item I looked for is the coloring of the tarnishing or any metal that was coming through, and I couldn't see any copper or other colored metal where there were areas of wear on any of these pieces. And this one for example, is fairly old, and I would think if it was silver, it probably would have some, or if it was silver plated, it would probably have some copper or something else coming through, but at any rate, I didn't see any, not in the clover leaf, not in the soap dish, or the small tray. At this point, I didn't know about very many other tests other than the acid test, which I don't have, so I was ready to take these items back to Goodwill. But then I decided that maybe I should try the ice test, which I'd heard about and sounded kind of interesting. So I decided I was going to try that. Now, I initially tried it with this Revereware pot. This is a half-quart pot, and I put the ice in here and in all the other receptacles, and immediately the ice started melting in the Revereware pot, which kind of confused me because I thought it was supposed to take longer since this is not made of silver. Then I remembered that the bottom of the Revereware pot is made of copper, which is also a fairly rapid conductor. So I decided to not use the pot and use the lid instead, which doesn't have any copper in it. I'd advise you to use the same. So what I did is went over to my freezer and got some ice. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items, including my lid. So I'm going to get 6 cubes ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6. Bring them over here and load them up into my receptacles. So you got to do this relatively at the same time. I don't think it makes that much of a difference if you do it perfectly at the same time or not, but it doesn't hurt. All right, so got one in my test right here. I'm going to put this more closer to the middle, and in the other receptacles, and then we're going to start seeing what happens. I should have wiped out some of this water here so that doesn't interfere. So, as you can see, this is the stainless steel Revereware lid. Nothing is happening. This is it's not melting at all. Over here in this large shell-shaped basin, there's a little bit of melting going on. I don't know if you can see it. Just a tiny bit of melting going on. There's a reflection. Over here in this gravy dish, you can see a little bit of melting going on. It's moving around. Now in comparison over here, very little melting going on, just a couple of drops in this lid. Try not to touch it to warm it up too much. Over here in the clover leaf, there are a few more drops than in the control lid here. Now we're coming over to the soap dish, and look at that. That's a lot different. Now you can't tell from the video, but I'm touching here on the edge and it is freezing. This is a very cold item all the way out to the edge, all 4 edges of this, corners of this soap dish. And this tray, there's a fair amount of melting going on there. Maybe not quite as much as in the soap dish, but more more than in the control, which is still just a couple of drops. In fact, it's not stuck there, but it's just a few drops. Probably a few more drops than that in the clover leaf. We've got a modest amount in the gravy dish, and a small amount in the large basin. So, as you can see, all of them are melting faster than the stainless steel. Now, my take on this would be that probably all of these are at least silver plated, and that silver plating, however thin, is going to conduct a little faster than stainless steel. Another thing is that these could be copper underneath, and copper, once again, is going to be a faster conductor than steel. So what I'm going to do now is put these in order of how fast. I would say that this big basin, unfortunately, is the loser. It's the least amount of melting going on, followed by, let me see, well, these three items here seem to be I would say the clover, and I can feel this is cold way out on the edge. I'm going to put this next. This item is cold, the gravy dish. And then I would say the platter, the candy dish, and then the fastest one, the winner, would be this soap dish. So I will probably be confirming later with some other tests, like an acid test, but hope this has been informative and you can use this in your search. Please leave any comments and keep searching, and good luck.